Hello, fellow Nigerians. My name is Israel Itakiwewo, a professional engineer here in the United States of America, and also a Nigerian chartered engineer as well. I've been living in the US for a decade and a half, and I left Nigeria because of so many reasons which you and I know well about. In this forum, we're going to talk briefly on the issues that bother us on the Nigerian welfare and the future of the country. I have here with me Mr. Goswill.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Israel, for the introduction. My name is God's Will. I I'm a Port Harcourt boy. I was born and raised in Port Harcourt, but I'm originally my parents are from Biafra or the Igbo part of Abia State of Nigeria. Um, Typically, I like to see myself more first as an engineer because that was my background, electrical engineer. But I also have a master's in computer science and also an MBA in finance. I've been fortunate to work with a multinational that allowed me to not just work all over the world, but also be able to work here in the United States. Uh, but we went ahead to build and run my own drilling company for a certain period of time, and currently looking at helping channel some of those expertise and capital flows, to emerging country like Nigeria. So what we're talking about tonight is we are Israel and I. We are colleagues, we're friends, and we share a very strong passion of seeing a country like Nigeria that is supposed to be the model of a Black African nation. You know, we are very sad with the narrative that has been used to define Africa and Nigeria in particular over the last couple of years, and we really want to encourage everybody to use this coming upcoming election to use it to make the right decision in making sure that next the next evolution of Nigeria will be what Nigeria is supposed to be, and is supposed to be the model of a Black African country. Um, we're going to kick off uh, this segment by talking about added security. Israel, we know that the problem of security in Nigeria, when you compare uh, the three parties now, we have the APC, the PDP, and the AAC. Those are typically the three ones that are actually uh, looking that are front runners right now. What do you see as the pros and the cons in terms of security for all of these three parties?
Well, obviously, it is no brainer that the security situation in Nigeria has continued to be on a downward spiral. Uh, it started uh, as a matter of joke, but now is becoming a matter of big concern, not within the territories of Nigeria, but all over the world. And I think it is high time it is addressed head on before it, transitions or changes to something that is uh, out of control. Uh, Without security, nothing can happen in terms of progress, development of Nigeria. We can play all the games we want to play. We can massage our political interests, but the fact remains if security, amongst other critical factors militating against the progress of Nigeria, is not addressed, we would not move beyond where we are right now. So it's a critical aspect of our life and progress in Nigeria, and it needs to be tackled correctly. Now, to share a little light into that, we understand and appreciate the efforts that previous government has put into place in tackling security issue, from the government of uh, President Olusegun Obasanjo through the short period of Yaradua onward to Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, and now President Muhammadu Buhari. The fact remains the issue continues to batter Nigeria uncontrollably. And it is high time we get a fresh set of ideas and a new take on the issue of security to create what we call something that is containable. Otherwise, it is going to engulf Nigeria and we will all live to regret it.
So that's a good point you made. You know, I work in oil and gas, but I also work in the investment, investment finance space. And one big deciding factor, when an investor or when an investment organization, an investment institution is looking to invest in a particular opportunity, the big issue they look at is the risk. What kind of risk are they having to deal with? Because for any amount of risk, you have an amount of reward. And if you look at different places all over the world, you have is a definite amount of risk that these investors will rather see themselves taking to be able to get certain amount of rewards. But if your security of a place like Nigeria is so damaging, is so threatening, then you don't see people that need to bring that positive cash flow into the country that will be able to come and invest in infrastructure, invest in opportunities that would allow the common Nigerian to be able to become an entrepreneur, a blooming entrepreneur, a blossoming entrepreneur. You can't see those investors putting their dollars behind those opportunities. So it's a very crucial thing that we have to look at going forward, that the security has to be made, has to be put right. I mean, we can go back to before Buhari. Before Buhari, I mean, we had this situation with Boko Haram and all that, but we expected that somebody with a military background, somebody that has spent so many years, that his life work is about security and protecting and serving the people of the country, that he's going to bring that expertise and be able to contain the security and make the security more, raise the level of security and make it better for Nigerians. But instead, it's gotten worse. They have kidnaps, they've got people killing. I mean, as a matter of fact, look at people, in the Fulanis coming all the way from the north down to the south, killing people, taking over lands, taking over farmlands, the herdsmen. It's getting worse. I mean, nobody will ever imagine, in the east or in the Igbo land, that herdsmen will come to your farm or come to your land and insist that they're going to graze their cattle on your land or your property without, with reckless abandon. I mean, the security has deteriorated so bad that people are not guaranteed life and safety are not guaranteed anymore. So we have to be able to track, we have to be able to address this issue. And obviously, Buhari has not been able to do this. The APC has not been able to do this. Now, for the PDP, effectively, they failed, and with that failure comes consequences that will impact even the most the most rural dwellers in Nigeria. Because if companies, if finance companies are not able to, rural dwellers, for example, and I use this narrative where people say, okay, we have to fight, and this I'm going to talk about this next segment. We're going to talk about one jobs. Look, Nigerians, as much as we know, are not really job seekers. Nigerians are business owners. They build businesses. If you go to any part of the world outside, Nigerians in diaspora, you see them building businesses. Yes, you might see them working, having a 9 to 5 or working some. But at the end of the day, Nigerians, their DNA is keyed into having their own business, being productive, being productive and being able to build their businesses. So, but we're going to talk about this in the next segment.